Hey everyone, it's Lexi. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Women in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck. So this was a book that I was really, when I kind of found out about the synopsis of it, I was really intrigued about it. So I saw it at the library and I was like, okay, I need to get my hands on it. So I picked it up, and so basically the premise of this is that it kind of follows three women kind of over the course of World War II and mostly kind of post war in Germany. So one of them was named Mary Ann, and her husband and kind of other people were involved in kind of like the revolution, and they were part of the kind of assassination attempt on Hitler. So she was being tasked with the plan to kind of protect, she's like the protector of women and children. So this kind of follows her kind of going out and kind of saving kind of the women and children of the men who got killed because they were involved in the kind of Hitler assassination. So I found that plot to be just so interesting because I know like this is not something that I've really read a book on, and also because it kind of focused on Germany post World War II, I thought the setting was just really interesting. And of course I had high hopes going into it because I am a big World War II buff, so I love kind of reading historical fiction of it. So I will start out by saying that I really enjoyed kind of the setting and the writing style of this book. I felt they were very interesting, and so just kind of the setting is that Mary Ann is from a very wealthy family, and she lives like her, I guess like mother-in-law was a countess, so she lives in like this castle afterwards, like when she's living with these women, and just kind of setting and just kind of learning about World War II in Germany kind of post war, and just kind of how the culture and how people were very unsettled, and just kind of learning to move on from everything that happened in the tragedy, and just kind of changing culture. So I found that to be really interesting, but I still felt like I was always at arm's length from the characters. I never felt like I could connect to them, and just, I don't know, they weren't just, this book didn't really give me a very emotional impact. I don't know what it was about it, but I just didn't really care much for the characters, and like I never really was like, oh okay, like I was never really attached to them. I could just never really connect to them, and I never felt that connection between the characters. And I know in particular there was one character, Benita, and I don't know, she just really rubbed me the wrong way. She was just kind of very passive and just there, which kind of was just irritating. Like sometimes I felt like she didn't even have a pulse, she was just kind of there. So that was just really frustrating. But the book kind of does, so Mary Ann is a very like active member of the revolution, and then there is Anya, I think how you pronounce her name, and she kind of was kind of for Hitler's kind of regime and all that. And then Benita, who's kind of apolitical, but she just kind of lacked a pulse, and she was just really irritating. So I don't know what it was, but this book I gave kind of 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't like it, nor did I hate it. It just didn't strike an emotional chord with me, and especially something that takes place kind of during World War II. I like expect it to have kind of like that impact on me, and this book didn't. So I don't know, I felt the premise of it, kind of just reading the back of it, just to be like it would be amazing, but I don't know, it just, I felt like there was something missing. Like the emotional kind of impact of this book was just missing. I didn't really care much for the characters. They just were always kept at arm's length, and they never were kind of like, I never could relate to them, or I didn't really end up caring for them at all. And just, I think kind of part of that is because the book does jump around between times and place in the women and like different times. So like once you kind of learn something about it, you go on for a couple more chapters before you kind of go back to that. So, and it kind of jumps around in time. So I think that's why, but I did really love the setting, and kind of post Germany, like Germany post World War II was really interesting. This isn't my favorite World War II book, but I do think it is, like it brings a kind of a unique perspective to it. So I will say it might be worth reading if you kind of are a World War II kind of buff and you like reading about this, but I don't think it is the best, and it's not really something that I would be purchasing later on, which is a shame because I really love this cover. So that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this book and what you thought about it. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!